AFLV, how y'all feeling? Woo, y'all look good out here today. Y'all looking crispy. I like it. I like it. Friends, I'm excited to be here. This is special, y'all. This is special. Man, y'all look good. I'm excited. My name is James Robilotta. I know right now I'm just some random, extremely attractive man talking to you. And you're like, well, so far so good. But I feel like we need to get to know each other just a little bit better. And I think, it's breakfast time, so I feel like a natural place to start is to tell you about some of my food quirks. This makes sense, right, man? You're like, just don't talk to me. Please don't talk to me. Here's how I eat pancakes, friends. First off, you can get out of my face with a short stack of pancakes. Does it look like your boy's ever only had 2 pancakes in his life? No, I'm grown and sexy. I'm gonna need 3 pancakes. And when it comes to my pancakes, I'm an equal opportunist. Same amount of butter and syrup on each one. I'm not like the Bisquick box. You've all seen the Bisquick box before. Big yellow box, huge stack of pancakes, little yellow pad of butter up top, and the syrup just delicately dripping down the sides. Nope. You're cutting into a drier gradient of pancake. That doesn't make any sense. I like each of my pancakes adequately soaked with butter and syrup. Where are my people who soak their pancakes? Where y'all at? There you go. Where are my people who don't do that? My people who pancakes a little bit differently. Okay, cool. For those of you who just raised your hand, I think it's important to recognize that in life we make bad choices. But it's all good. You're going to get them on the next one. So after I get my pancakes adequately soaked and stacked, what I do is I cut little triangles out all the way around so that I have a star. Then I get the points off the star, I have another circle. I cut more triangles out. It's a very geometric eating experience. I start that way because you all need to know from the jump, your boy's a little bit weird, okay? But I think it's fun. I think it's fun when we share these food quirks. I have a lot of things that I eat in unique manners. For example, the way that I eat chocolate layer cake. And actually, real quick, if you don't like chocolate layer cake, I think you know how doors work. I'm just kidding in case you have a gluten intolerance, in which case AFLV is an inclusive environment. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you. Thanks. But if you just don't like chocolate cake, we ain't friends. So the icing is the best part, right? The cake is just the vessel in which the icing arrives in my love in a chocolate cake. And so what I do is I cut all the cake part out of the way first, and I leave the glorious icing walls to the end because I never said this is too sweet, this is too rich. No, friends, I like my chocolate encased in chocolate, injected with chocolate. We got any chocoholics in the house? There you go. I see you back there. I see you in a bit. All right. I like it. BuzzFeed started this thing a few years ago with how you're supposed to eat cupcakes. You remember this? You're supposed to rip the bottom of the cupcake off and then put it on top and make a little icing sandwich. Yes. Nope. I rip the bottom of a cupcake off. I throw it off a dock. I shove the icing on my mouth. That's how I eat a damn cupcake. I'm just kidding. I'd never waste food. Once a college student, always a college student, y'all. We out here. Friends, I start that way because I think we need to remember that we all got something weird about us. And I don't know what your weird is. Maybe your weird isn't food related. Maybe you like stick your finger in your belly button and smell it, okay? I don't know what you do. But you got something. And so when it comes to that, I think we need to start connecting there. Because let's remind ourselves about why we joined our organizations. Most of us did not join our organizations because we looked on the website and we were like, look at these values, yes! I care about brotherhood, I care about scholarship, I care about service. Guess that makes me a good human being. And that's awesome, but the chances are the reason why you joined your organization is because during recruitment you met Nicole, and Nicole was so cool. She was funny. She laughed at your jokes. She asked you really cool questions, and she made you feel like, hey, you belong here, because when you showed up at your institution, you're like, holy cow, there's a lot of people here. I'd love to figure out a way that make this institution a little bit more smaller, a little bit more manageable. And so you found an organization. And so you were talking to Nicole, and Nicole made you feel like, hey, just maybe you could be accepted at this school. Maybe, just maybe you could feel like the school could become your home. And so by the end of the conversation, you're like, Nicole, are there any more Nicoles in your organization? And she said, we're all Nicoles. And you said, I think I want to be a Nicole. She said, well, list us first. We joined our organizations because we met someone who made us feel comfortable. And so that's why I start by sharing my weirds with you, to make you feel a little bit more like I'm just a human being up here hanging out with you. There's a lot of stories like that I have. For example, another one is that my GPA in undergrad was a 2.73. Where we at? Where we at? Where we? Nope. Nope. This is not me up here bragging about my 2.73. I did not have a Miss North Carolina sash for my 2.73. No, friends. But the fact of the matter is my GPA was so low because I went to a school 12 hours away from home. I'm from New York. Where my New Yorkers at? There you go. We shove them in the corner. That's probably smart. So I went to school 12 hours away from home. I went to school down in North Carolina, and North Cat. And I remember my very first day, I went out to eat at Wendy's because I respect culture. And I showed up, I went into Wendy's, I was like, all right, yeah, listen, how you doing? Okay, listen, here's what I want. I want a number 2, I don't want any mustard on it. I want no onions on it, right? Extra cheese on it, though, right? I'll take a small fries and a Mr. Pibb to drink, thank you. And the woman was like, okay. I got hello. And I was like, oh, geez, here we go. I was lonely down there. I was homesick. I needed something else. As you heard, my degree's in marine biology. I'm not sure if you've noticed just yet, but there's not one fish around me. This kind of looks like a bunch of jellyfish, but it's not. Trust me, I am a marine biology major. So, yeah, I currently use my degree to impress dates at aquariums. About 50-50 with it. So I needed something more, and so I got super involved, and I didn't join fraternity and sorority life till a little bit later in my college career. Truth be told, I first entered by going into residence life. Any RAs in the room? We got some RAs, wonderful. RAs, let's get together after this. Let's make Greek letter shirts on the front, Rho Alpha on the back. We don't throw parties, we bust them. It's not true, it's gonna say we document situations. We document situations. And so I used to spend all my time with that group, with my residents, because they made me feel like this was my home, and I loved that validation that I felt from them. And unfortunately, my academics started to slip because of it, because I just spent so much time in my leadership role. Maybe some of you know that. Any over-involved student leaders in the audience? Just a couple? I know. You're like, I'm sending an email right now. I can't clap. I can't clap. So for me, how that worked out is that we would hang out super late at night in the residence hall. We'd have super late, just kicking it late. And then all of a sudden, someone would always have this great idea of like, yo, bro, I got an idea. Like, what is it, man? You'd be like, yo, let's go watch the sunrise. I'd be like, heck yeah, let's go do it. It's a Tuesday. So we'd stay up all night. We'd go watch the sunrise, and we'd come back. We'd go to the dining hall first because there's just something a little bit better about those fresh fake eggs. Those fresh fake eggs, right when they come out of the carton, they're just a little bit better. And so we go that, and then we go to bed, and then we get up for our 9 o'clock classes, right? Yeah, I don't know, maybe they did. I was sleeping. So I was a huge hypocrite because we know that every single one of our organizations, scholarships is mentioned somewhere in our values, our creeds, our ritual, etc. And we know that just to maintain our status in the organization, we need to have a certain GPA. For our organization to remain an organization, we need to have a certain GPA. So yeah, I was out there pushing that, making sure everybody knew that academics were the reason for the season. But my residents would come up to me and be like, James, man, we hear you do, but did you even buy books this semester? I'd be like, yo, I'm good. I'm good. I get my work done after you go to bed. No, I didn't. I went to bed when they went to bed. So I was a huge hypocrite. And hypocrisy and leadership are oil and water. Let me shift gears real quick. If I were to told you that I had somebody up here standing next to me, I told you that this person is a leader. That this person is a leader. I want you to think about one characteristic that they probably possess. One characteristic that they must possess if they're a leader in your eyes. And I want you to shout it out in the count of 3. Are you ready? 1, 2, 3. What is it? Great. I heard integrity. I heard confidence. I heard organization. I think I heard good communication skills, right? We know these characteristics. But let me tell you about myself. I'm a disorganized procrastinator who's awkwardly friendly around students and who's cocky around my fellow professionals. Friends, I'm disorganized. If you were to come and look at my desk, it looks like I sat a toddler on top of a stack of papers and they just went like this. Yay! That's my organizational style. To my people who color code in the room, I'm sorry if you just vomited a little. You're like, don't touch anything of mine ever. I'm also a procrastinator, but I think we should talk about that tomorrow. What do you guys think? Such a dumb joke. Some of you will get it later. That was a better joke. I'm also awkwardly friendly. I'm that guy who at the end of the night at the party, I'm like sitting in the corner like, hi. Everybody's like, everybody's leaving. I'm like, where y'all going? I'm like, everybody's leaving, dude. I'm like, oh, okay, I guess I'll go too. I was like, can I come back tomorrow? Like, nah, dude, we ain't like that. I was like, oh, okay. Like, I'm that guy who's just kind of always around, like, trying to hold on. And people are like, nah, dude, you old as hell. You share weird things about yourself. Get it moving. I'm also cocky around my fellow professionals. I remember right after I got my, my master's degree, I went down to Clemson University, go Tigers, for my master's, and I walked in, first professional job after the master's degree. I walked in, I was like, you're welcome. I have arrived, okay? I just got my master's, bro. Pop off. Y'all ain't ready for all this. You want me to advise those students? Sure. You want me to handle that judicial? Sure. You want me to run this administration process? Sure. You want me to chaperone this? You want me to supervise that? You whatever, I got it. I'm a damn boss. Now, there's a good chance that all that cockiness was just to cover up my intense insecurity because I didn't think I'd be good at my job. But let's not worry about that. But it's interesting, though, because when I ask you to think about leadership qualities, I don't think you thought of disorganized, procrastinator, awkwardly friendly, cocky. But those are all parts of who I am. And they're parts of who I am that I do not shy away from clearly. They're parts of who I am that I don't shy away from with the staffs and the teams that I get to work with either. Because when I show up and we set expectations, I let them know from the jump, just so you know, I'm disorganized. And so what that means is one day you're going to email me, and I'm going to read that email. Then for some reason, I'm going to mark it unread. Then it's going to trickle down the first page of the email box. And then it falls off the first page, and I don't know where emails go after that. I've never looked. So I tell my staff that because they can help hold me accountable to being better. I think people who say things just like, well, that's just the way I am, get used to it. Nope, you can change. We need to work on it. And so I tell my staff that because I believe that regardless of someone's age, regardless of someone's experience, regardless of someone's title, they have the opportunity to influence me and make me better. And when I shut my ears to that is when I shut my ears to growth. Because I think it's important to recognize that as leaders, it's not only your job to impact others' lives, it's your job to let them impact yours. As leaders, it's not only your job to impact others' lives, it's your job to let them impact yours. That's what we're going to talk about today. Today we're going to talk about this concept called authentic leadership. I actually thought I came up with authentic leadership in a brief cocky string that I was in straight out of grad school. Then I did some Googling. Turns out some guy wrote a book called Authentic Leadership. It's okay, that happens. Bill George wrote this book called Authentic Leadership. I read the first third of it. I'm sure the rest is good as well. But he simply defines it as the self-awareness approach to leadership. So what that means, friends, is that today, our conversation that we're going to have today is going to be a little bit deep. We're going to get a little bit introspective, and I hope that you'll come with me on those parts. So let's jump in. As a professional speaker, I've been carefully taught that I should use an acronym. So I'm going to teach you all a word today. That word is piorm. Can you say it for me? Piorm. The word's piorm. Can you say it for me? Piorm. Perfect. Scientific fact, don't blame me, blame science. But a scientific fact is that everything is more fun when said through a Swedish accent. Let's give it another shot. Should sound like this. Piorm. Can you say it for me? Was it more fun? Yeah, you're welcome. You're welcome. Piorm. Authentic leaders are purposeful. They empower others. They own who they are real, and they follow their morals. Authentic leaders are purposeful. They empower others. They own who they are real, and they follow their morals. What does the P stand for? Purposeful. Big cheat sheet if you need it, friends. Feel free. Purposeful. As leaders in your community, your intent will influence your impact. As leaders, your intent will influence your impact. In other words, the reason why you got involved in the first place, the reason why you ran for the position you did, will determine what you actually get done in that role. Prime example, how many of you have ever worked alongside somebody? It could be in your current role, it could be in a previous role, it could be an off-campus job. How many of you ever worked alongside somebody who was only in their role because it was going to look good on their resume? Right? We all know someone like that. It's frustrating to work with these individuals. It's frustrating to work. These are the people that started from the bottom and they're still there, right? It's an old Drake quote, friends, but stick with me. But these are the individuals that had that super charismatic speech. They really got us riled up about why we thought they would be good and what they were going to do. But then 1 month in, we're like, where'd Mike go? Has anybody even seen Mike? Where'd I do that? Right? These are the individuals in our organizations that after everyone else does all the work, they jump in front of the parade and be like, look what we did. It's like, y'all ain't doing nothing. You were sitting back playing video games, right? These are the people in your organizations that are the quickest to pass out red Solo cups, but are the last to show up at chapter meeting, right? These are the individuals who as soon as, Nuck, if you buck, boy, Nuck, they're coming out, they're like, oh, shoot, where we at? But they haven't paid their dues in who knows how many years. These are the people that love to sit in the back of your chapter meetings and complain, but somewhere along the line, they forgot the founders. My friends, your intent will influence your impact. The reason why you got involved, that will dictate what you do within your position. And so that means I need you to revisit your purpose. You need to remember why you joined your organization. Why'd you join your organization? I need you to remember that you are a part of the fraternal movement, that we are here to do things as a conglomerate, and we will move forward, and we will happily leave you behind. So in that spirit, we need to remember, because unfortunately, in most of our recruitment processes, predominantly Panhellenic and IFC, we don't always sell them on all the meetings they have to go to. We sell them on a whole different picture. But there's a whole lot of work that has to go in to having that kind of fun. And that work is the grease that keeps our engine moving. And so you need to revisit that purpose, because that purpose serves as a bulldozer that pushes you through some of those more mundane parts of membership. I have a really good buddy of mine. His name is Steve. Steve works for NASA. He's a little smarter than me, at least in that way. And I was talking to him the other day, and he's like, James, man, I just got off this project that I hated. It was driving me nuts. I didn't care about it. I was like, why are we even doing this? I don't understand the point of it. And my project manager was also a piece of work. And I was sitting there like, man, I kind of want to start job searching, but I'm working at my dream job, but I'm frustrated here. But then I just got put on this new project, James. He was telling me, he's like, I got put on this new project, and we're basically creating hypersonic and supersonic engines. We're pretty much creating engines that can make it fly from LA to New York in like 6 minutes. It's so cool. I'm happy again, dude. I was like, Steve, man, that's so cool, dude. I'm happy for you, bro, but I'm just curious, what was this other project that you were on? And he was like, oh, bro. He's like, they were trying to send this box up to Mars and then light it on fire because they wanted to see the way fire reacted on Mars. I was like, bro, I'm gonna need you to check your work problems. If setting something aflame on another celestial body is a bad day for you, but that wasn't it. Revisit that purpose. Let it serve as a bulldozer that pushes you through some of the frustrating parts of your work and allows you to remember the greatness that we're all a part of. Authentic leaders are purposeful. What does the E stand for? Empower. That cheat sheet came up a little late. I'm sorry, y'all. Empower. Empowerment's a super cliche word. There is nobody who loves the word empowerment more than colleges and universities. We put it in our brochures. Like if I looked at your brochure, I'm telling you, like it's in there here at Ball State University, we empower our students. And incoming parents are reading it like, yeah, they do. It's a sexy word. But it's a word that's become cliche because all we do is say it. We don't actually talk about what it means. But empowerment plays a crucial role in our organizations. So let me break this down in another way. My friend, what's your name? Rachel? I'm going to tell y'all a story about Rachel, okay? Y'all been sleeping on Rachel. Rachel is a beast of an ice climber. I'm talking like she popped out of the womb with the carabiner. You feel me? Like her grandma, ice climber. Great-great-grandfather, mountain is named after the dude. Like had no choice, genetically manufactured to be an ice climber. Rachel, any point I'm lying, you stop me. So one day, Rachel decides, hey, I want to have a philanthropy event. I'm going to have an event where I'm going to take everybody out ice climbing, and every 20 or 30 feet that we climb, people have to donate more money based on our progress. Dope. The rest of us are like, oh, heck yeah. We get to go ice climbing with Rachel the ice climber? Oh, hell yeah. I've seen her Instagram. It's popping. She's like, hanging from stuff? Yeah. Okay, I'm in the building. Or probably outside the building, but like, yeah, let's go. Rachel's our natural leader. She's been there the most times. She's got all the right equipment, right? She's showing up with those spiky shoes. The rest of us are showing up in Chucks like we didn't know what to expect. I didn't know. Doesn't matter. Rachel's got us. Now, what Rachel could do as the most experienced leader of this expedition, if she wanted, she could shoot up the mountain the fastest and then just pull the rest of us up. But my friends, that's not what leaders do. Leaders push, they don't pull. Leaders push, they don't pull, because if all she does is pull us up to the top of the mountain, they're all going to get up there and be like, oh, wow. Oh, yeah, this is really pretty. I love it. Okay, sure. Oh, yeah, nice. Yeah, I don't know how we got here. Rachel just like literally dragged us. I have a rash. Don't look. I can't even. All right, I guess as long as we're here. Hashtag mountain. But there's no sense of fulfillment in that process. So instead, Rachel's at the back of the pack, pushing us up the mountain, teaching us along the way how to ice climb so that one day we could come back without Rachel, and she's given us the skill set to do it on our own. But that day, she's pushing us up the mountain until we all get up to the top of the mountain together as a chapter, and we're like, oh, shoot! I just did something. I was a part of the success of this mission. That's how every single member of your chapter wants to feel if they are in it for the right reasons. Everybody in your chapter wants to feel like they were a part of the success of the chapter that year. And if they don't feel like they played a role in the success, then they're going to start getting burnt out. They're going to start getting burnt out. They're going to start complaining more. They're going to start showing up for less. So it's up to the leadership to not drag these people around and guilt trip them into things. It's up to the leadership of these organizations to learn what skill sets their members have and ways to put them to use in a way that they feel is fulfilling to the organization. I'm sure you got a graphic designer in your organization. Have a conversation with that person. Let's talk about that. I'm sure you got someone who's got some connections here and there. Figure out a way to use those individuals, because authentic leaders empower others to be their best authentic selves. Right? Authentic leaders empower others to be their best authentic selves. We don't need a bunch of clones in the organization. We need a bunch of individuals who are great at something so that we all achieve success a little bit more efficiently and a little bit more effectively. And so you as the leaders aren't burnt out yourselves. Authentic leaders are purposeful. They empower others. What does the O stand for? Own. My friends, we're going to get a little deep. Owning who you are is the hardest thing that we're going to talk about today. Owning who you are is the hardest thing we're talking about today because it's one of the hardest things that you do in your lives. Because owning who you are is scary. It involves putting every facet of your life in front of a mirror and looking at it. And I don't know about you all, but I personally find mirrors to be pretty scary places. So I'm not just talking about putting how you look in front of a mirror, which in most days is hard enough. I'm also talking about putting your choices in front of a mirror, putting your relationship in front of a mirror, putting your friendships in front of a mirror, putting your reputation, your ego in front of a mirror and truly seeing it. And that's hard because mirrors don't lie. So when I try to start to wrap my brain around this idea of owning who you are, one way that kind of comes to mind is I think about the best conversations that we all have in our lives. These are the conversations that happen after 11 o'clock over milkshakes at like your IHOPs, at your Steak and Shakes, at your whatever. Don't get the milkshake from Taco Bell. But whatever your late night eatery spot is, you all know these conversations because these are the conversations where you roll out looking a hot mess. Your makeup gave up hours ago. Your hair gel is just like, nah, son. You're wearing who knows what color pants. You just look a wreck. But it doesn't matter because you're surrounded by people who love you. You're surrounded by the people who are over the whole looks thing, and they just want to hang out with you. They just want to spend time with you, and that's awesome. So these are the powerful conversations that we have. And I know about you, but when I'm hanging out with my friends late at night in some of those conversations, how they usually look is that we start to share embarrassing stories about ourselves first. Like, oh, man, you never believe what happened to me. What we don't recognize, though, is that when we share embarrassing stories, that's actually us owning a little bit of who we are. So here's what I want you to do. I want you to turn to somebody next to you. I want you to find one partner, and I want you to share an embarrassing story about yourself with that person. Go ahead. All right, everybody clap your hands. One time for the snap, y'all. One time for the snap, AFLV Central. We out here in the building, y'all. We out here. What filter do I want to use? Which one looks cute? All right. You all had to share an embarrassing story. I feel bad. I feel bad because I didn't have to share one. So let me tell you a quick story about myself. At my senior prom, I dislocated my right knee dancing to Shania Twain's Man, I Feel Like a Woman. Thank you, thank you. Now, what you didn't hear about that is that occurred during dinner. My friends, I have no idea who this DJ was at my senior prom, but dude was straight fire, okay? And like during dinner, during proms and like these banquet kind of things, usually they drop the music down and put a little Billy Joel or a little light jazz or something like that. Nah, this dude just kept coming with the bangers. So I decided to skip the first meal of my life. And I said, we going, let's go. And so then, a few songs came on and then Man, I Feel Like a Woman came on. At that point in life, you got two choices. You either go hard or you go home. To say I went a little bit too hard may be a bit of an understatement. I fell to the ground, had to pop my own knee back in, not fun. I then proceeded to drag myself to the side of the dance floor. My principal immediately rushed over to me and gave me 3 ice cubes. I'm still not sure if those are for my water or my inflammation. Right? So I sat down for a little while, ate some chicken parm. Don't act like you didn't have chicken parm at your senior prom. So I sat down for a little while, And then I said, no, this is not going to ruin my experience. So I decided to slow dance. I asked my date if she would dance with me. And so, we were out there just doing this. It was very romantic, I'm sure. Later on in the night, they played the song Just Bust a Move. Y'all know this track, right? You want it, you got it. So they played that track. Only everybody at the senior prom was like, hey, just bust a knee. That's mad disrespectful. We all have embarrassing stories. When we share those embarrassing stories, that's us owning a little bit of who we are. That's us proving to ourselves also that we are resilient. And proving ourselves time and time again that we are resilient is powerful. Because if you don't believe that you're resilient, then you'll never try, then you'll never start. And so embarrassing stories are powerful in that way. But then I'm that friend who, after we eat for a little while and hanging out late at night again at those diners and places like that, I'm that friend who's like, oh my gosh, we're having so much fun. Now let's have a deep conversation. And so there's a question that I ask at that time that I think kind of drills into a little bit more of owning who you are. It's a question that I ask my friends. It's a simple question that I'll ask you as well. What's one lie that you tell yourself every single day? What's one lie that you tell yourself every single day? No, I'm not talking about, I'm going to go to the gym. I'm not talking about, I'm not going to text him. I'm not talking about, I'm not about to finish these cookies. Y'all, finish those cookies. My friends, I am talking about the deeper lies. The deeper lies that we all tell ourselves. For example, a lie that I'm telling you right now, I don't know if you've caught this yet, but your boy looking pretty fresh up here, okay? You know what I'm saying? I got the fresh blazer. I got the hot socks, too, for y'all on the side. Come on now. I'm up here looking Pinterest fresh, okay? I got sewing machines on my tie. That's not. I learned the other day that I think they may be scooters. If you flip it the other way, anyway, don't worry about it. But I don't know if I'm up here looking pretty fresh, but what you don't know is that this is a shell that I had to put on today. This is a shell that I needed to put on today because in my twisted brain, if I didn't look cute, then I think you'd be more focused on how unattractive I am than on my message. This look has nothing to do with professionalism. Professionalism and dress codes are sexist. If you want to talk about it later, we can unpack it. This look has everything to do with insecurity. And I know that's wrong. I know that you all out there are good human beings and you recognize that it's message over freshness. But this is still something that I needed to do today because today I needed to win. Today I needed to come up on the stage and I needed to win today. So if I needed to lie to myself a little bit so that I could win today, I think it's worth it. That's why just like you, if you need to lie to yourself every single day, just a little bit, that's okay. You're a human being. Don't beat yourself up about it. But instead, just recognize that it's happening and start to own it. We have to own these lies that we tell ourselves. Because you all know this phrase, fake it till you make it. We've all heard that. But if all you ever do is fake it, you never really make it. So that's why we need to own some of these lies. Because friends, you're the only person who knows what's going on with your baby brother. You're the only person who knows what's happened to your grandma. You're the only person who knows what's going on with your physical health. You're the only person who knows what's happening with your finances, with your academics. You're the only person who knows what insecurities you have. But every single one of those things is another weight that you carry that no one else knows about, just you, but you feel it. And I think we owe it to ourselves to live a lighter life. And we do that by owning who we are. Because we have to own who we are so we can be real to other people. You have to own who you are so you can be real to other people. Because the next question that we have to ask ourselves after what's one lie that you tell yourself every single day is what version of yourself do you allow others to see? What version of yourself do you allow others to see? On social media today, we can be whoever we want. We could be whoever we want. And trust me, okay, for some of you scrolling and double tapping on my Instagram, you're welcome. Your boy looking cute, okay? But I got friends of mine. I live in Brooklyn, New York right now. I live in Brooklyn, thank you. And I got some friends who live there who post pictures next to palm trees all year round. I'm like, bro, you went to Miami once and it was like 9 months ago, okay? I'm gonna need you to post your pasty pictures like the rest of us, okay? I have other friends that post pictures next to cars all the time that aren't theirs. I'm like, hey man, nice Bentley. Pretty sure you drive a Toyota Corolla and not a new one. And friends, no disrespect to Toyota Corollas, a fine, reliable automobile. That's just not your Bentley. We could be whoever we want on social media. But the fact of the matter is we could be whoever we want off of social media as well. You could be whoever you want in your organization, whoever you want on your college campus. But what version of yourself do you allow others to see? My first position out of grad school, I worked in residence life. I got my master's in student affairs because I said, why leave college? Let's keep it going. Let's make an impact. So my first position out of residence life, I was a resident director at a university in New York City. And I remember we had this one student one of the years who was a real pain in the butt, real thorn in our side. Just kept doing dumb stuff around the halls, like he would take down people's whiteboards and he would steal people's markers and then draw phallic things on the walls, but he wasn't a good artist, so it was like doubly annoying. I was like, at least be good. He would also like mess with fire extinguishers, rip down RAs, bulletin boards. He was frustrating, but we could never catch him. We could never catch him in the act, so we could never formally hold him accountable. But then one day he did something a little bit bigger, and he stole from the bookstore. Clearly an issue. He got caught. My supervisor caught wind of this, and she said, hey, I want to sit in on this judicial hearing. Cool, sounds good. So the three of us sit down. The first question we ask him, natural first question, he'd already been caught. We asked him, so why'd you do it? He looks us back dead in the eyes. He's like you've never done anything wrong. I was like, excuse me? I was like, bro, you're never going to be a lawyer. Your Honor, like you've never done anything wrong? I rest my case. Nope. My supervisor, though, decided to one-up him. She looks him back dead in the eyes, and she's like, actually, I haven't. And now I wanted my job, so I sat next to her, and I was like, it's very true. I can see your halo, halo. Right? But she knew that she was lying, or he knew that she was lying. So he calls her out. He said, okay, sure, lady, so you've never done 38 and 35. You never sent a text while driving. You never jaywalk. You never roll the stop sign. Like things that we probably all did a couple days ago. Please don't text while driving. But things that we've all probably done. And she looks him back dead in the eyes after he rattles off this list. She looks him back dead in the eyes, and she's like, no, I've never done any of those things. And I'm sitting next to her in my head. I'm like, who the hell is this? I was like, I think just yesterday, you and I were doing 75 and a 55 up the west side of Manhattan, bumping to DMX taking selfies. And don't get me wrong, y'all, I was losing my mind up in here, up in here. That's an old reference. Catch up where you need to, friends. But in my mind, I was like, who is she trying to be? He also knew that she was lying, because in that exact moment, I watched him shut off. And the reason why he shut off is because we as humans can't learn from people who are perfect. We can only learn from people who are imperfect. We as humans can't learn from people who are perfect. We can only learn from people who are imperfect. In that moment, she tried to teach him through perfection. But when we try to teach others through perfection, I'm looking at you on your standards boards. In this moment, when you try to teach somebody through perfection, that does not lead to growth. That does not lead to learning. It only leads to shame. So in that space, we need to figure out a way that we could be more real with each other. Because in that idea, even if she had said something like, yeah, I've done all those things, I just wasn't dumb enough to get caught. That's real. We could at least have a conversation off that. So let me ask you this question. In your organizations, are you who you're supposed to be, or are you yourself? In your organizations, are you who you're supposed to be, or are you yourself? Fraternity and sorority life will not work if all we do is duplicate what we've always done and require other people to keep duplicating the same process. We must bring the individuality back to our chapters, because that is what will allow us to grow and move. That is what will allow us so that in 10 years, I don't come back here and say this same damn speech. Because there's plenty of speakers who've been doing the same speech forever, and the reason why they keep getting to do the same speech forever is because stuff's not changing. Let's move. Authentic leaders are purposeful. They empower others. They own who they are. They are real, and they follow their morals. Morals, heavy topic. When I say morals, all I'm talking about is your own personal definition of what is right and what is wrong. However you got there, that's fine. Did you get there from faith? Beautiful. Did you get there from your family? Beautiful. Did you get there from your life experience? I love it. However you got there, that's up to you. I think all of us are kind of like brick pillars. Stick with me on the weird analogy. All of us are kind of like brick pillars, where every single brick in our lives is a different experience that we've had. There's that one where we all remember that time where you learned how to ride a bike. Maybe there's a time where potentially you learned how to swim. Maybe there's that other time where that other experience when you went on your first date, you went to the movie theaters, and they put their hand on top of yours, and you were like, oh, this is it. Magic. Then there's those other bricks. There's that brick where that time where you lost a loved one. There's that brick where you had your heart broken. There's that other brick where you hurt somebody. Each one of those is a different brick in our pillars, but it is our morals that is the mortar that allows us to stand tall and be proud of who we are. It is our morals that is our mortar that allows us to stand tall and not be this individual who's just a loose pile of manipulable bricks who, whenever anybody else is around, they change who they are. Because we all know somebody like that. And the reason why we all know somebody like that is because we've all been somebody like that. Authentic leaders are not perfect morally. But authentic leaders more often than not make decisions through their morals. Here's a random story of a time where I didn't do that. From 7th grade to my sophomore year in college, I had a giant stealing problem. Random? Yes. True? Yes. And it was one of those things where I just told myself, I was like, well, James, I'd never gotten caught. I said, well, James, they always told you so. Follow your talents. So I kept stealing. I would steal some from my roommates, too. I'd call it a no-tell tax. And then I remember there was one time my sophomore year where I was an RA, and there's big speakers that came on sale, and I really wanted them. Why? I don't know. Big speakers. Judge me if you need to. But I really wanted them. My paycheck I'd already spent it from the previous week because I'm financially responsible. And my next paycheck wasn't coming in the next week, so I did what any privileged college student would do. And in that moment, I called my dad. I said, Dad, listen, any chance? Listen, I got these great speakers. They're on sale. They're amazing. They're only on sale this weekend, but I don't have any money. Any chance you can send me the money? Then on Friday, I'm going to get the next paycheck. I'm going to pay you back. How about it, Dad? What do you say? And he said, James, you know what? We will send you the money. I was like, holy crap, it worked. But then he kept going, as my dad often did. And he said, James, I don't understand. You got to do me a favor. You got to do me a favor, though. You got to promise me you're going to stop stealing. And I was like, yo, who told Dad? To this day, I don't know who told Dad or what that happened. But I knew that in that moment, it wasn't my time to hack it out with him. So I simply said, okay. And he said, James, I don't understand it. People see you as a role model on your campus. When your mother and I come down, we walk around that campus, and your residents pull us aside, and they say, Mr. and Mrs. Robilotta, I want to thank you. Your son's been a huge impact on my life. He helped me go through this breakup with the previous partner that I had. He helped me get this on-campus job, and I want to apply to be an RA because I know what he did for me, and I want to do that for others. And every once in a while, he also steals me a bag of M&Ms. I said, no, James, the M&M part didn't happen, but the rest of it did. And he said, James, then was that other time where we came down, you introduced us to your vice president, and your vice president pulled us aside. She said, Mr. and Mrs. Robilotta, I want to thank you for letting us borrow your son for 5 years. I took a victory lap. I want to thank you for letting us borrow your son for 5 years. He's been an instrumental community builder on our campus. He's been very influential. We love having him here. As a matter of fact, I just created a new committee, and I said we should have a student voice on this. And I didn't call the student body president. I didn't call the head of any of these other organizations. No, I called your son because I thought he'd be perfect. Your son's such a good dude. Every once in a while, we're like, you know what, James? Go ahead and take some peanut butter cups. He said, no, James, the peanut butter cup part didn't happen, but the rest of it did. He said, so James, why are you doing something that if anybody found out about it, they would immediately have to question who you are? My friends, we all got something. And I don't know what your something looks like. If it's illegal, maybe just go ahead and stop. Okay, good talk. That was easy. But honestly, please work on it. Maybe sometimes, though, it doesn't look like an act. Maybe sometimes it looks like when you're in a room with a bunch of people who look like you, who talk like you, who think like you, who believe like you, who love like you do, and you let something out of your mouth about somebody else who looks a little bit differently than you, who believes a little bit differently than you, who thinks a little bit differently than you, who loves a little bit differently than you, who comes from a little bit different place than you do. Whereas if someone in that population walked in that room in that exact moment, they'd be pretty offended. Because maybe, just maybe, we need to start owning the facts that we are humans that create patterns. We create patterns and routines, and the reason why we do this is that we create routines so that we don't have to think about things, and our brain can focus on bigger topics. It's very natural. But think about this. Imagine I told you to put toothpaste on your toothbrush in a different direction tomorrow. You would be like, whoa, how does it even work? Right? Imagine I told you to eat cereal in a different way. You're like, my left hand's broken. Shout out to the lefties in the room. But we all create these patterns. For example, I recently learned that apparently when you get in the shower, you're supposed to put shampoo in your hair and then conditioner in your hair. Then you let the conditioner set while you clean the rest of your body. Then you rinse it all off at the end. Just learned this maybe a year and a half ago. And I have great hair. So I'm trying to change my pattern now, because usually when I get in the shower, I rinse and clean my whole body, then I do my hair. Don't picture any of this, by the way. But, so the other day I was in the shower, I was like, okay, I got to do something different. So I got in the shower, put shampoo in my hair. I was like, yes, we are doing the right thing. Then I proceeded to soap my whole body up, and I was like, damn it. My friends, it is hard to break your patterns. It is hard to change your routine. But there's a whole lot of people in this country that are being shit on by our patterns. And so where in your life, where in your community are you starting to listen to a few more stories? Where are the times and the individuals where you're allowing them to speak a little bit louder, where you're allowing them to let themselves influence you instead of you just living in this pattern? Who do you advocate for? Don't talk to me about Greek unity unless you're listening to each other's stories, because it's a heck of a lot more than Greek week. Authentic leaders are not perfect morally. That's impossible. But authentic leaders, more often than not, make decisions through their morals. We talked about how authentic leaders are purposeful. They empower others. They own who they are real, and they follow their morals. That's heavy, y'all. That's authentic leadership and a fun little package for you. But authentic leadership is scary. Authentic leadership is scary. So maybe one way that we can approach it, is that we can start to play catch. Let's play catch. And what catch looks like is that I'm going to throw something to you. And if you want like any normal game of catch, you can be like, no, I don't want to play. Or it could throw it to you and you can be like, that's my ball now. Or you can throw it back at me and we can actually play catch. So maybe this doesn't have anything to do with throwing a ball back and forth. Maybe instead we can play catch like this. Like, hey, I'm going to tell you and share a little bit something about myself with you. And if you want, you can be like, no. Or if you want, you can be like, thank you for that. I'll use it against you someday. Or what you can do is share a little bit about yourself back at me. And we can start to play catch in that way. And my friends, maybe we don't need to call it catch. Maybe we can just call it what it is, which is vulnerability. But vulnerability is scary because in today's society, we are taught that being vulnerable equals being weak. But when we know, in fact, that it's the exact opposite, and we're taught that asking for help is a weakness, which we know is the exact opposite, because if asking for help is such a weakness, then why is it so darn hard? So in that space, we have to learn to play catch with one another. We have to learn to play catch with one another. And my men in the room, I'm specifically talking to you. Because men, from an early age, we are told to be pillars of strength. We are taught to be pillars of not needing to ask for help, of being able to handle things on our own. We will win. We will win all the bread. We will, whatever it is, we will be strength. We will be strong. We will be emotionless. And if that is what you are cultivating in your fraternity, then don't come back at me with some brotherhood language. Because when I think about my brothers and my fraternity, I think about individuals who know about when my uncle died and know about how much that hurt, and they ask me stories about him. And individuals in my fraternity are the people who I talk to when I'm super nervous about something like this. And individuals in my fraternity are also the people that I talk about like, yo, I just killed an interview. I think I'm going to get that job. My brothers get me at my best and at my worst, and we lean on each other. Man, we need one another. It's time to wake up. And to the women in the room who are told every single day, make it look easy. Make it look easy. Don't let me know that you got makeup on. Make it seamless. Don't let me know how much work you put into what you were doing. Keep it flowy, keep it effortless. Ladies, let's be a duck. Smooth up top, hot mess down below, but no one's seeing that. Because that's a pressure that's put on to you. Let's lean on each other and let's talk about that. And men, let's listen. Listen with the intent to listen, not to respond. My friends, that's what vulnerability is. But vulnerability is scary. Vulnerability is so scary because you're the only person who knows what's going on in your life. You're the only person who knows what happened to your mom. You're the only person who knows what's happened to your baby brother. You're the only person who knows what kind of physical pain you're in every single day that you wake up and try to shake off. You're the only person who knows about what's going on in your mental life and that you battle with depression or bipolar. Or you're the only person who knows what's going on in your world and your finances when you're a part of an organization that looks pretty wealthy, and so you need to put on airs just so you feel like you can be accepted by them. And you're the only person who knows what's going on with your insecurities and the things that you carry around with them, because you are the only person that has to fall asleep to the sound of your own heartbeat. But my friends, I'm going to tell you a story. I'm going to tell you this real quick, and I hope you hear me. Your story is good enough. Your story is good enough. Your story is good enough that if you told it to somebody else, you can make them feel okay. Picture this. We got a lot of seniors in the room. Seniors, I want to picture this conversation where you talk to a freshman. You talk to that first-year student, and you pull them aside maybe sometime next week, and you said, you know what, I'm a little scared. I'm a little scared about it. Well, I don't know what's going on. I'm about to graduate with this degree that my parents made me get, and I don't really want to do it. I kind of want to do something else, but now I got this degree because it's the only way I was able to get my academics paid for, and I'm nervous about leaving here because I've heard making friends outside of college is hard, so maybe I'll just go get a master's to delay that process. But then also, I don't really know what I want to do, and I'm nervous of leaving this safe zone of the house, of the chapter, of the everything, and I'm just a little scared about graduating. But seniors don't tell freshmen that because they think the freshman's going to look them back dead in the eyes and be like, you need to get your shit together. But my friends, that's never what happens. What always happens is that in that first-year student's brain, they say, you're a leader of our organization. I thought you had it all together. I look up to you. That's pretty crazy that you don't have it all together because I don't have it all together. Maybe that means that right now, I'm okay. Maybe that means that right now, I'm enough. And what a powerful emotion to create for somebody. My friends, I'm going to end on a quote because that's what speakers are supposed to do. Before I do that, if you all want to stay in touch with me, I'm James T. Robo on every single social media platform. James T. Robo on every single social media platform. And every few weeks I send my thoughts on love, my thoughts on success, my thoughts on leadership, stuff like that. If you're interested, you can shoot me a quick email. I'll put you on the list. And also, I wrote this book called Leading Imperfectly. It came out about a year ago. This talk was titled Leading Imperfectly. So the book is, I write exactly the way I talk, so it's cute and funny. It's just got more stories and more experienced opinions, shall we call them. If you're interested, I got a bunch over at the Campus Speak booth. I'll be signing them after this. So, let me end on this quote because that's what speakers are supposed to do. There's a rapper out of Canada, not named Drake. Believe it or not, another Canadian rapper. There's a rapper out of Canada named Shad, and Shad simply says this. Shad said, well, you can't be everything to everyone, so let me be anything to anyone. Shad said, well, you don't have to be I can't be everything to everyone, so let me be anything to anyone. My friends, your story is good enough that you can be something to someone. Who are you going to tell a little bit of your story to? Who are you going to make them feel like they're enough, that they're okay right now? Who's that brother? Who's that sister? Who's that actual brother? Who's that actual sister? Thank you for your time today, friends. Be well.